Quality content. Yeah. No, I'm not. No, you can still use Messenger even if you have Facebook turned off. I think it was like almost 2 weeks ago that I deactivated it for job search purposes. um, yep. Yeah, I only use Messenger. I haven't looked at Facebook for real in a long time. So, yeah. I mean, at this point, I just prefer Discord, but not everybody's on it, right? So, Natty Daddies, I like it. Ooh. That's you, all right. Yeah, that's you. Yep. Yeah, I know all about it. This is my job, man. Remember? I'll just listen to him later. I mean, I mean, I can mute everything and listen on the stream, but yeah, no. I never mind. Oh God, this thing smells terrible. OLDE LISHE 100. That's fine.
I'm gonna steal your sunshine and I'll shit on your parade. Don't get me started on doing Michael Caine. My opinion matters, yours will fall in last place. I'm not shutting up and you'll be learning my name. Fifth in the family, but first in my mind. 1 out of 10, but I'm ranking just fine. We've only got now, there's no afterlife. Look, Mom and Dad, I'm just speaking my mind. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everyone's coming on Kyle tonight. Wait, what? No, nobody's coming on Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking. I'll never shut up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you will. I only stop talking and drink, smoke, or eat and cry. I'll never shut up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die.
Alrighty, hey everybody, we are live here on Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up from the houseboat Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
It is Tuesday, it is 9 o'clock. We are joining you here, as always, try to help you struggle through this wonderful time we're all living in. Oh my god, it's just gonna go on forever, they say. That's what I've heard. The official reports, it will be going on for forever. But if it's going on
That's
for forever...
That's what my mom said about my birth.
Yeah.
But you know what?
It ended.
It ended.
Eventually. 7 years later, you finally exited. That last toe was hanging on for a while. But if this is going to last forever, like the pregnancy and birthing of that guy over there, I'm glad that I got Mr. Justin Olimpado with me. Hey, brother, how you doing?
All right.
Yeah,
all right,
hanging in, right? Hanging in as good as anybody can be.
Man. Yeah.
I hear you. And with one pinky toe still in his mama, we are joined by Zachary. He is so awkward feeling storming.
Sorry, Mom.
She only listens to the opening of the show, right? She only listens to the opening of it.
There's only a part that she's going to listen to, it's the beginning.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Sure.
Right? We usually save all the talking about your parents until like the last 5 minutes. We're just like, hey, guys, you're not going to listen to this part. All right. Well, joining us also, you can see him in the cam down there, over here, over there. Oh, there he is, down there. We are joined by our good buddy, Charlie Eckenberger. Oh, live via the Discord.
Yeah.
A wonderful adventure that I've been going on Discord. You can connect to people in kind of the same way that you can connect to them in just a group chat, but it's not as annoying. Like,
yeah.
I've only really used it for the text, and then with this show, I've used it for the actual like camera stuff. But I've not done even the voice chat on there.
I haven't done it yet.
You haven't done it at all yet?
No.
Yeah, you're on.
Well,
I'm doing it
involved.
through me.
Justin's doing it.
But
yeah, it's like he was holding the axe. He obviously did the crime. I'm just watching him clean that axe off.
That's like the way that I play video games. It's like, Oh yeah, I know about that. But like realistically, I never played that. I just watched Justin play it.
I've had conversations with people, and everybody knows how much of a gamer I am, where they're talking about, like, especially Dark Souls, when you guys were really into Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, yeah, fucking that guy. You got to jump up on, like, the ledge, and you got to get on the motherfucker's back, and you got to stab him, like, 900 times. He just keeps throwing you off. And they're like, yeah, man. Like, fuck, how far have you gotten? I'm like, never played. I don't know. I don't really know much
but
other than that.
You got crazy into Injustice.
Injustice, I like button smashing. I'm a button smasher for sure. I smash a lot of buttons in pretty much everything I do. That's how I cook. I smash a bunch of... Oh, I do.
Fuzz buttons, if you will.
2 or 3 fuzz button poundings, and I am out. I don't know why that noise had to happen, but it is what came out of my mouth. All right, we got a couple people in the chat right now. We got a One-Eyed Jeff giving a wave.
Oh, hi, Jeff.
And then Slacky said he could hear us before, so apparently he could hear us. And we also, Zach Dillon.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Oh,
yes, we are.
We
actually.
are. We are
will get
drinking.
into-
We are drinking Natty Ice. You know what? That's a wonderful transition.
That
We
is.
are drinking Natty Ice because it is what we drink. But we've got something else that we're drinking tonight. Let the people hear it.
I'm not excited for the first time.
Really? All right.
We drink it so you don't have to. Review it in the morning from the bathroom. Cheap booze and craft brews. Review it in the morning from the bathroom. Why do we drink it? Why do we drink it? Yeah!
All right, so we are drinking. We're drinking Natty Ice. I'm a daddy's boy generally. I drink the Natty Daddy. Zach's a light guy generally. So we go to the middle ground.
Yeah.
And we go Natty Ice. Now
Oh man.
we have
We did get duped, but we also didn't double
duped,
check.
but it's our fault. So Justin and I are standing 6 feet apart from each other, looking at all of the options for wine that they have in Weiss, thinking, oh, we'll get some weird like wine coolers. And so we find these things that, what are they? I mean, they didn't lie about them being shatterproof. We did check the bottles to see that they were plastic, but we didn't read the labels.
You can
Squeeze them. So we thought we were getting these new barefoot wines. And the first one was called Lemon Apple. And it looks like this. And then the other one is supposed to be a dark cherry or a black cherry and oak. And I was like, ooh, thinking they're going to be like wine spritzers or something along those lines. But as Justin can show you in the main camera there, it is just Pinot Grigio and it's just Cabernet Sauvignon. So they've both been chilled because we thought that they were fruity wine tasting or wine spritzery style things.
Oh, yeah.
But they are not. So I guess, what do you want to start with? You want to go white or red?
I want to go white first because I like
you like the Cab?
Cabernet usually.
The Pinot Grigio, I usually like a Pinot Grigio.
Shit.
I just don't really like barefoot
Charlie,
a lot.
what are you drinking?
Yeah, Charlie, what do you got going on over there?
And so I thought since I was hanging out with my homies from back home,
Yes, sir.
I would kick it back to Kutztown.
Oh, no. Old
Old E.
Old English 800.
The old 800. I would have got
called 800. Is that what year it was made first? Is that how old it's supposed to be?
That's how many
Calories
old
are in each sip?
paupers and peasants pissed into a bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like pauper piss. Pauper and peasant piss.
Yeah. You know, the
Perfect.
peasantry is where Old E came from. I would have bought Camo 45, but of course, they don't have that down here in North Carolina. So
Old E works. Old E works. Now, okay, so we're gonna go with the Pinot Grigio. Now these bottles are supposed to be like a whole glass. Now I'm also saying we got duped, but I think they stocked the wrong thing, and I think we're getting more booze for
Probably. For what we actually
what we
paid.
It's
actually paid for.
187 milliliters.
Yep.
Oh man.
187. This is probably about a 5 to, I don't know milliliters, but 5 to 7 ounce pour. I'm assuming this bottle right here. If anybody can correct me on that, feel free.
Couldn't tell you.
But 187 milliliters. It's 12.5% by volume, so there's that. So here we go. Lightly refrigerated. Unfortunately, just Pinot Grigio.
just, you know.
It's like the aftertaste isn't bad, but the beginning and middle taste is just booze. It's just, it tastes like you put a little bit of pear juice or something in vodka. Like it doesn't really taste like wine.
I would cook with this.
Yeah, this is good cooking
any
wine.
day of the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah,
This has like that
Sweet.
citrus.
It's like
edge
Chablis
to it.
or something bullshit out of a box that you get and cook
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's exactly.
You know, this on some chicken.
Yeah, for sure.
You know
what?
in some Alfredo sauce.
When
fuck
when
yeah.
I was at the Melting Pot, not this specific Pinot Grigio, but when I worked at the Melting Pot and we ran out of the boxed wine that we were using, our cab for our boxed wine for the cooking wine, the Coq au vin, we would go and we would get the Cabernet from the Barefoot Cabernet that was there. That was literally our house that we just did not sell to people really. And because we had $50 bottles of wine to give them, but we charged for the regular bottle of this is like $8 in the store. I think we charged like $32 in the restaurant if you wanted a fucking bottle for it, which is absurd. Justin, what are you thinking on this? How you feeling? Do you think it's better to cook with, or is it good for drinking?
It's all right to drink. I would definitely cook with it.
All right,
I'm pretty sure I have cooked with something barefoot.
Yeah,
This is-
Barefoot
for
is a
sure.
common.
Yeah.
Barefoot is what
A
you
common
show
decent
up
wine, right?
when
Yeah.
when you're going to a party and you're like, I gotta get something. I know a bunch of people are gonna bring beer or liquor. I'll just bring a bottle of white wine. At least the ladies will enjoy it, and me, you know. And you get this. You get Barefoot because again, it's like $8 a bottle. If you want to be slightly fancier, you go with that whatever that Aussie brand is. Is it just called Aussie?
Oh, Yellowtail.
Yellowtail. That one's like a step up in price, but not any better in actual
Now,
palatableness.
I drink the Natty, and when
Yeah.
I buy wine at the store, I buy the gallon jug of Carlo Rossi for
Yes, you do.
$18.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
Yes, you
Fuck
do.
yeah.
Oh, dude, that's what I get. I get Cabernet Sauvignon, literally the cheapest gigantic bottle I can get.
Oh,
and
fuck yeah.
I love it.
I'm always
When
mad
I,
that they don't have the White Zinfandel available of that, because I don't really love White Zin, but I would use that as a mixer with shit.
I have
all
a
day
Carlo
long.
Rossi story actually.
Woohoo.
Oh,
What do you
so
do to ya?
I
All you're
can't talk
telling
about
me is
that
I'm gonna
live.
break into the
Yeah,
Cabernet.
me too.
So the 2 year, well, I guess at this point, it's about 7 years ago. I worked at a liquor store in Muncie, Indiana, and we obviously it was liquor and beer. You
Isn't
can
that
sell
where the
both.
Jackson 5 is from? Or is that Gary, Indiana?
Gary, that's Gary.
Gary, okay.
Muncie's where Ball State is. It's the only thing in that area
Got it.
where I went to school. Anyway, so I worked in a liquor store there, Muncie Liquors, liquor and beer, because in that state you can mix them together. And it was Halloween 1 year, and so the place is packed. It's the only liquor store on the university campus, so just fucking out of control. And Muncie, Indiana is kind of a little podunk town, Midwestern, a little bit redneck. And this large gentleman comes in wearing all camo and a orange hat. He's a college kid, right? He's college kid age.
Yeah.
He goes and grabs the Keystone Light that was at the time having the camo can thing that they do.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he grabbed a 30 rack of that and a jug of Carlo Rossi.
Wow, that's
And this
smart.
motherfucker.
Kid. Smart guy.
Well, you would think so. You would think so.
Well-dressed, smart gentleman.
Yeah, I mean, he was dressed for the occasion for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets in line, and the line is like to the back of the store, right? It's Halloween, and I'm just a guy who works in the coolers, right? I keep that shit stocked. I didn't work the cashiers or the cash registers because fuck that. And I'm sitting there in the cooler just watching, waiting to like have to restock something, and this fucking pile of garbage redneck, he has chew in his mouth and just spits it on the floor.
Oh.
Just spits it on the floor.
So you're saying the level of people that drink Carlo Rossi are the people that'll spit their chew on the floor?
Yes,
Zach, you
but
ever spit
wait,
your chew on the
there's
floor?
more.
I chew so much fucking tobacco.
All right.
And this motherfucker, I go up and approach him. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And he's just like, what? Huh. I'm like, bro, you just spit on the floor. And he's like, no, I didn't do that. And like, I was literally like, I don't know. I was maybe 3 feet from him. Like, I was like, and I said that. I was like, bro, I fucking watched you. And he was like, oh, I didn't do it. And I was like, okay, well, give me your stuff. You're not buying anything here. Get out. And instead of giving me the stuff, he throws the Carlo Rossi on the fucking ground.
Oh, dick move.
That is not shatterproof.
Yeah, you don't want to suck that off the floor with the spit juice there.
Yeah, what a dick. Yeah,
What an
'cause
asshole.
no matter how far that
Anything.
puddle spreads, there's gonna be a little bit of spit in there, you know?
Yep.
the
And
spit.
guess who the fuck had to clean it up?
Was it you?
Because there's 3 people in the store. The
you're
other 2
the
were working the
cooler
register.
boy. Cooler boy.
And I'm the
got to
fucking
do
cooler
shitty
guy.
Job. That fucking
Yep.
sucks.
Fucking garbage kid.
Well,
he did get
hey.
banned from all the Muncie liquors in Muncie, though.
At least
so
he got that on him. There you go.
Yeah.
Fuck him. All right, and where is he
Never
now?
get his Carlo Rossi again.
Probably
Who fucking
drinking
cares?
Carlo Rossi that he bought.
Still
from
in
another
Muncie,
store.
Indiana.
Yeah,
Is where he is, I'm sure.
Oh,
Probably still in
nice.
college.
He's back on his own house.
Yeah, he's just like.
The whole house. You have to wear boots in the house.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
There's like an inch of mud on the floor.
And it just squishes as you go through.
Yeah. Were you mopping in here? It's carpeted. I don't think you should be doing that. That's not. That's not how you do things
Just
here.
mopping the carpet earlier.
All right. Okay, Justin, you got it all queued up and everything. Let's jump right into our next segment. What the fuck is happening? Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's happening in the world? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's happening in the world? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's happening in the world? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I always scare myself at the end of that one with that scream.
Yeah.
So what's going on in the world? I mean, realistically, there's no news. There's no news that isn't related to COVID-19, to coronavirus. And like the sad news, things are getting worse. Is just like not something you want to focus on because we'll get through it, guys. New York, we got this. Or wait, no, it was South Dakota. We're on it.
Meth, we're
We're
on
on it. Yeah. New York is New York saying we got this, and it's just like, why the fuck are you saying we got this?
Yeah.
Because they do.
It's true. You
And
do have it.
we're close enough here that, whatever.
Yeah, we're getting the influx.
We don't have to tell you. If you're alive right now,
You know what the fuck
you
is
know
going
what's
on.
happening,
So if you really know what's going on, then you are also aware, you are privy to the greatest thing that is happening right now.
In TV
I
land.
am only 2 episodes in, so I'm going to ignore anybody in the chat for right now, just because I don't want you spoiling things, although from the memes I can gather what the fuck's about to start happening. Tiger King. Tiger
Fuck yeah, dude.
King.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my god. He is, I know somebody else describes him as this, but he would be, I think, a self-described, he is a gun-toting, gay, drug-dealing, or drug-doing, fucking tiger enthusiast. He is fucking insane. Like, when they're describing him, like, it's kind of cool and progressive that gay is, like, the 3rd thing that is listed about him. It's just like, well, he's a redneck with the mullet, and you're like, all right, I'm listening. He owns a bunch of tigers. Okay, he has 2 husbands. All right, whatever.
what?
Wait,
2
what?
husbands? Yeah. Now, I am in the 2nd. What is, we got Marissa saying drugs, kinky sex, tigers. Exactly. Like, this guy lives the fucking life.
What else do you want, really?
I don't know. Like,
Nothing.
tigers?
More drugs,
Like, the one
alcohol.
guy says in the 2nd episode that I just watched, the one guy, the one who's like his manager or whatever, the guy with the sweet hat, that should
my God.
definitely be played by, like, a oddly cast, like, Steve Buscemi.
He's like
but
Robert
bald.
California from The
Yeah,
Office.
he is like Robert California.
He's a real life Robert California.
Jesus. But with that hat, it just, like, doesn't look like it's his hat. It looks like they
But
walked
it's not
in.
paper. It's
and-
tigers.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
paper
yeah.
tigers
Yeah,
either.
not paper tiger. But so he's talking to you, just like there's some like power you feel when you're in there, like with this like killing beast, and you're just like, and I'm just like, I can imagine because I've been to Claws and Paws and looked at the sad fucking big cats that they have there, who are not being taken care of nearly as nicely as he seems to be taking care of them at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's feeding them old hot dogs from the grocery store.
I know.
It's pretty good. They're living the life.
The one thing was still frozen, man. He's like, oh, look at this. It's
The
still
one dude was
frozen.
eating a fucking fruit by the foot, like you pointed out.
He had a fruit by the foot. The one kid, I don't know if it was his young husband, but he had a fruit by the foot fully unrolled, just dangling down to about his knees while they're going through all the garbage food. And he's just slowly slurping it up. And I'm like, these people are wonderful. Like, this is a perfect snapshot of like weird America, but it's not that. It's just if everybody had a bunch of money and no care and could do what they want. The slight slight redneck in all of us, I think, would start really shining through when you start, going, you know what? I do want to wear all denim with a little bit of pink. I just think it's going to look good.
See, because you can see my legs because I'm social distancing over
Yes,
here.
you are.
I wore my
We get to see your
my leopard print pants.
covering them gams over there.
Yeah.
Covering your grandma hams. Looking good. Now, I do want to kind of say, like, again,
That was weird.
Charlie and I are both, I liked it.
What's up, missing?
We are both in the second episode. You've obviously seen the memes, and and the end of that second episode, murder is around the corner. Suspected murder is around the corner.
mean,
That bitch Carol.
That bitch Carol.
just
Now,
pay attention to something she says towards the end of the whole season.
I definitely will. I'm going to hang on to every single fucking word. I'm going to probably rewatch it just to make sure I got it all, like it's fucking Lord of the
I'm thinking
Rings.
about writing a fucking paper on it, but fucking.
I mean, what else you got to do?
I mean,
Other work?
it's taken over TikTok as well. Like
true.
everybody is ending their TikToks now with "fuck Carl Baskins."
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
So at the same part, me and you are at the same spot. What is your opinion? If you didn't know all these memes, what would be your gut opinion of the woman from what you've seen in the first two episodes?
She's just as much of an asshole as fucking Bhagava and fucking Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
I mean, she's doing the same thing, but it's branded
Exact same
differently.
thing.
It's just that she
literally the
has
same thing.
PETA behind her.
She has
so
PETA behind
Yeah.
her. And
She's a fucking cunt, bro.
it
Like,
looks so shitty. Like the place that she runs looks so.
Yeah.
It looks like Knoebels made a fucking tiger park.
Hey, man, what's wrong with Knoebels?
Nothing. It's great. If you can't afford Dorney, it's amazing. And if you want to camp for like a week, it's actually really sweet. I do think that's
There's
a good
some
way to go.
rides.
There are. I love the water side.
Not
We went last
denying
summer.
that,
I
dude.
fucking thoroughly enjoy it. But you got to admit, it's a little rinky dinky
A side
at certain
note?
point. Yeah.
Last time I was at Knoebels, my boss Eric, his daughter had just had her son, and he was like in the stroller, like a baby. Like,
Yeah.
and we were all hanging out there, and so we got on the haunted house ride. Me, Eric's daughter, my brother, some other people, and he sat with the baby in the stroller.
Oh Jesus.
And when we were in line for it, he's walking up and down the line with the baby in the stroller, shouting, "Breast milk! Get your breast milk! We've got breast milk for sale!"
And he probably
we're like-
could have sold
We're like
some.
hiding. We're like,
at Knoebels, no doubt.
we're
Yeah.
Eric, shut the fuck
So I
up.
was like,
dude."
I'm running low. I had a margarita for lunch.
And to
Please,
him-
I'll take it.
And to him, his daughter's breast milk was the funniest thing in the entire world.
Oh,
and
hell
looking
yeah.
back on it,
No shame, bro.
It was
Oh,
fucking
fuck yeah,
hilarious.
that's great. But no, I mean, it's
That's
that
Knoebels.
Carol ladies, like, it just looks really fucking shitty. It looks like, I mean, you see the one shot where there's like the leopard or whatever that's got to stick its head basically into another cage just to drink water. And then you see how Joe Exotic kind of seems to have them all like set up and everything. I would say out of all of them, Bhagavad or whatever the fuck the guy's name is, pronounce it. I see you want to go in and pronounce it.
No, it's Bhagavad. The thing is, I want you to finish your thought, but I have an opinion on him.
All right, Bhagavad seems to give them seemingly the nicest like existence because they're just kind of more free roaming and everything. But
Sure.
and I don't know if this is where you're getting, but Justin and I were talking about it. Like, whoa, when they bring up like start talking about like how it might be kind of a cult, but he's the one that really brings it up.
Well,
it
'cause
is
he lived in a cult.
perfect.
Well,
Because
he got
lived
all
in a
pissed
cult.
off.
Yeah.
As soon as he
he
came
got
up, he was like,
super
"No,
pissed
fuck you."
Oh,
And, like,
this is the question line that you're gonna take to get me to admit that I run a cult. I've been around for 35 years. It's like he goes, I've been here for 35 years, and you're like, yeah, running a cult
Yeah.
for 35 years.
Yeah.
The thing with him and the Tigers, though, is like, does he let them free roam? They don't really show you. Only when he's bringing them out do you see Tigers with
Yeah,
him.
and then
Exactly.
Who the fuck
you
knows
also
where they are?
see how he sets up every shot. Like the editing
Oh, yeah.
for him is so great that he goes,
that's
all right, so we're gonna
intentional.
go over here. All right, so here's my voice for the camera. Blah 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 blah. Are we done yet?
Well,
we get everything, and like
They make that clear. I think it's in the first episode when you meet him, right? He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, they're better. He's a better director than we are."
Yep. Yeah.
Which
That's like the first
that's
thing they say
clearly
about him.
alluding to the fact that this dude is setting up everything that they want them to see.
Yep.
Sure.
And those cuts where they don't cut the way he thinks it should be cut is perfect. Like it really sets up. And one thing that I'm really enjoying on this show right now, or not on the show, but with this show, are all of the people that are throwing out potential castings for the movie version of it.
Yeah.
Now, 2 actors are fighting on Twitter over it, and that is Dax Shepard and Edward Norton are both fighting to play Soe Exotic. I think it's perfect. And then I thought he would do so well.
It would be.
I think it's
great.
2 different movies. If
Totally.
Dax Shepard did it, it would be more feel good.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, you'd be like, "Oh, that was cool."
The Edward Norton.
If Edward Norton did it, at the end of it, you'd be like, "Shit, man!
It would end with him going to jail and just staring at the camera for like a solid 30 seconds.
Fight Club.
I don't know.
Tiger.
Yeah.
I feel like y'all are forgetting Death to Smoochie though.
Death to
true.
Smoochie,
Yeah, but that's a dark movie.
That's
dude.
a dark movie. You're gonna get a dark
Tiger King's a
comedy
dark
from
story.
him. Yeah. You're gonna get a dark comedy from Edward Norton. It
I'm
would be.
with
What was
No,
what was the
I'm
one
on
movie
board
he
with
did?
that.
Leaves of Grass. Was that what it was?
Oh,
Where he played him and his brother.
It's a
Hit
Leaf
the
of
twins.
Grass.
The twins. Blades of Grass.
Blades of Grass, something
yeah.
like that.
Blades
Yeah,
of
something like
Glory
that.
2, the Grass edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's John Heder?
John Heder, I don't know what the fuck ever happened to him. He
Who
did
cares?
He did a couple of movies after up until
I don't know.
like 8 years ago. Maybe he's just teaching the good Lord's Mormon words. Maybe he's just out spreading the
He
good
probably
Mormon
took
word.
his dynamite money, invested it, and doesn't fucking work anymore.
Do you think he invested it in dynamite? Maybe
I mean, dynamite's
or
cool.
Napoleon? Do you think he invented?
Wait, is this
Napoleon?
true?
I don't
Is he a
know.
Mormon?
We're
With dynamite?
speculating over here.
Oh.
Yeah, we're speculating.
I mean, I was convinced. I was like, oh,
No, his
really?
Napoleon dynamite money, and then I'm saying he's invested in dynamite. Because what else would you do with that money?
I mean, it sounded plausible. That's all.
Now I think
Tannerite, actually.
John Heder could definitely
Is it
play
Heder or
Heater.
I always said Heater, but I don't know.
Heater makes more sense, I guess. I always do a soft E into I don't know what I'm saying. Heater. I stutter it. He would make a good addition to the background of this cast. Like he could possibly play like the guy with the long blonde hair.
Oh, yeah.
Like he could just play him, just kind of like what? I don't know.
Yeah, he just. I'm
Smoking a cigarette, filling up gasoline, and from one tank to another. Don't try this at home, kids.
He
The guy
had one
fucking
line that made
rocks.
me chortle. I laughed out loud at 3 minutes when they asked about Dagobah's from Star Wars.
Yeah, Dagobah. Let's call him Dagobah.
Dagobah, yeah.
To say.
The interviewer asked him, was like, how many wives do you think? And the dude's like, I don't give a fuck. Just fucking lost it.
I do like the guy that they cut to that's from Minnesota or whatever, who's just like, I used to look up to him, man. I was like, you don't need to teach me nothing about
like the
this
girl with the
fucking
one arm, too.
animals,
Yeah.
but I need to
She
know
went back
about
to
how
work
you
after
keep
you
these
did
women in control. The one-armed girl, I did not notice she had one arm the first 3 times they cut to her.
Well,
And then once
yeah,
they-
because it was only at her chest up.
Oh, were they purposely
No, there
editing
was
it?
no. They had it.
They had, I
had
feel,
it right
I
in
feel
your
like they had a
face.
couple of wide shots and you just don't notice it. Like
Yeah.
it's just this. But
Did they?
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're wrong.
I mean, I just watched it last night, so I don't think I am.
Yeah, I mean, we just watched it literally 6 hours ago, so
I
not
watched
to
it.
one up you.
I was so drunk when I
One
watched
upped.
it.
Yeah,
I was
hammered.
completely hammered.
Yeah.
When I watched
Shocking.
it. When I watched it.
Can't believe it.
And Pat, I was with Pat, and when they showed her, when they finally showed her one arm, I was like, "Yo, this girl's got one arm," and Pat's like, "Because a tiger fucking ate it." And we're like, I missed the whole scene. We're stomping around the living room like, "A tiger ate this bitch's fucking arm! Oh my god!"
Yeah, man, she's fucking, and she's a champ. She was back to work 5 days later.
Oh,
Seven.
she's the
Seven.
toughest
It was
person.
eight.
on that
Eight
I
days
show.
later.
think the craziest thing though is obviously, as a documentary filmmaker, you have to try to be as impartial as you possibly can through the process. So far, at episode 2, and I know he is in jail at some point, but they definitely, I don't know if it's just my personal shit that's making me think this,
Dude.
but they're definitely showing him in a better light, where it's like, yeah, he's kind of an idiot. He's kind of an asshole. He's psycho-controlling about how he wants things done, but fucking so is Howard
You just
Hughes.
instantly love
This
him,
shit,
though.
this shit
You
though
do.
is how
Thin
far are
line
you into
between
that?
genius and
I
insanity,
don't
man.
know.
That guy literally
I'll be
borders
honest with you.
it.
I watched a lot of
He
it,
straddles
and I
it.
remember
Like his
almost
two
nothing
husbands.
of it.
Right.
But the main points.
There are
Yeah.
some fucking crazy characters in this whole
It's
thing.
fucking
Keep watching. It's fucking wild.
The editor guy is a funny dude.
Yeah. Now, Justin, being the only person without saying anything or giving anything away, really, being the only person of this group that has totally finished it, is it set up for a season 2? Do you think this is a one-off, or do you think we're gonna get like Making of a Murderer and they're gonna come right back?
It's hard to say. I mean, there definitely could be more to it.
Okay. Do you think they just start focusing on other, like, do spin-offs? You know, like Storage Wars Atlanta or whatever the fuck they did, and just
Maybe.
like go to fucking like, you know, guys
love
in
Storage
Canada.
Wars.
I do too. I literally any of the spin-offs. I don't know how many they made, but I like watching people find old shit. And
Canadian type.
Canadian. Oh, but yeah, Canadian King Tiger, you know, or like Tiger Emperor, and go to like Japan and
I don't
have
know.
a guy who
Without
just owns
ruining
all
anything-
the fucking tigers in Japan.
Without ruining anything, it's one of those stories where at some point you are like, wait, is this actually, like, am I actually watching a real thing?
Because the
or
first
is this
20
a fucking...
minutes of it are that. The first 20 minutes, you're like, no. Then it comes to its first music
But
video,
it-
and you're like, no.
But the way that the show
It's not even him
goes-
singing.
the
It's
way
not
Is
even
it
him
not?
singing.
Oh,
No,
I was really
no
hoping it was
way.
him singing. I
No
was
way.
so
No,
hoping.
well, it's
That's
not.
me speculating,
It
but there's
might-
no fucking
It
way.
might
No,
not
I
be
think
him,
we-
but either way, the songs make more sense the further
The
you go
auto-tune
in.
it.
Trust
Okay,
me. Just
all
keep
right.
watching. The way that this dude weaves things in and out, it's like, am I being
Okay.
fucked with on this?
Hold
Like,
on.
Yes.
We're talking about a movie.
Yeah.
Let it be produced by Danny McBride.
Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Danny
literally could
McBride
do a
will
great job
do
with
the
it.
theatrical version of this.
I did think
With
by
Ed Norton. How fucking
Ed
Canadian
Norton,
Caribou.
I understand Ed Norton and the allure to him doing it, but the first time I saw a clip of this guy talking, and the first time like I saw a picture of him, like a still of him, and then I hit the clip and I watched it, and I immediately thought it was a Will Forte character, and it just feels like Will Forte. And if they did it in the way that they did the National Lampoon's mockumentary movie, if they did it in that vein, I think it would work really, really, really fucking well. What do we got going on in the chat over there, Justin? Are people joining in on the Tiger King?
We got probably because she was surrounded by trash, meaning that the girl got her hand cut off.
Bit off, yeah.
Chub brought me here.
Ooh,
That's
I'm
me.
saying Canadian
Caribou.
Good idea. Yeah, Canadian
It's
Caribou
not him.
Kings.
It's not him in reference to singing.
Oh, it's not him. Oh,
It might
No,
not be
definitely
him.
not. No
that's
way. No
Marissa.
way.
And
Either way,
Marissa,
the
she does
songs
her
make
research.
more
She doesn't
sense
just
later.
say shit, you know.
I'm sure he wrote the songs, but he's definitely not singing them.
I'm
But they
sure he
make
came
so
up
much
with the
sense.
lyrics for the songs. I'm not sure
Oh,
he
yeah.
wrote any music. I think he's the Kyle Mocha of that operation, and he just goes, I came up with these words. You write this. You do this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking about of music, we have a really, really awesome featured band for you guys tonight. This is, I think, our fourth or our fifth official band from Australia.
Cool. Beautiful.
I love them. I love
love
them.
them.
Their name is Sigmund Fraud. Sigmund
that's
Fraud.
good.
I like
It's
it.
accurate.
And
accurate.
they're from Sydney, Australia. So this is the first time that we are getting what I guess is the east coast of Australia. We've been all in the Melbourne side.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we're stepping away. We're going away from the country. This is more like the city. Even though Melbourne is a city.
Wait,
most of our-
Melbourne's on the west coast?
yeah, it's more if you...
I'm stupid.
I'm not sure which way they... Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it's west. Yeah.
You're not sure
It's
which-
not upside down, right? It's not
East
like
to
the
west
toilet.
is
It
right.
doesn't flip.
God.
It doesn't flip, right? It's been a while since I owned a globe.
I don't believe so.
That was a shining moment for me right there. So they're from Sydney, Australia. They're self-described as Sydney rock and roll. They definitely have a fun punk thing to them. It kind of feels right in line with the guys that we had featured last week, Lemon Venom from the UK.
Yeah.
So this is just the down under version. The song that we are going to be playing, we actually have a music video for it. This is I think the podcast premiere. We'll call it the world premiere of Bastard on the Beers is the name of the song. If you like what you hear, you can check them out on Instagram at Sigmund Fraud AU, which just looks like when you read it, Sigmund Fraudal. Just Fraudal. So Sigmund Fraud AU on Instagram. And then you can find them also on YouTube. This song and this video are available there. Without any further delay, let's jump right into our favorite fucking continent's favorite genre of music. These guys fucking, they're going to hold up. You just wait and see.
Yeah.
right, there you have it. That is, once again, from Sydney, Australia, Sigmund Fraud, Bastard on the beers.
I like it.
Dude, it's fun, it's fast. You immediately, once they went up a step, you were just like, whoa, this is poppy.
Because I did that in when I was in Too Much Young. We did that in a song because Korn did that on Got the Life.
Oh, okay.
Which was the pop, like, it was basically a disco song.
Yeah.
It was on their third album, the one that made Korn a household name. If you're a new metal fan,
I was going to say, Korn was a
and we were not
household word in my house.
We were, you know,
I think it was the name of the album, right?
What was it?
Wasn't it Follow the Leader or something like that?
Follow the Leader.
Got the Life.
Yeah.
They go up a whole step on that last chorus, and we heard that, we're like, oh, damn, that's why that song's so catchy. Then we learned that is like a thing in, you know, writing popular music, and then we started to see it in more and more places.
Because the whole idea is you're repeating over and over and over again the same thing. Like, how many times they do that, and it's infectious. Like, that's the idea with pop music. It's going to be infectious in your ear. It's going to be an earwig all day. You're going to have ba 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 ba, even if you don't know the lyrics. Bastard of the beers, you know, whatever. Honestly, when I read the title and I listened to it, and I thought it said bastard with a beard for a while. I was just walking around listening to it.
Yeah.
That's us. We are the bastards with a beer. With a beard and beer, actually.
Yeah.
We're bastards with
wait
a
till
bunch
we
of
go
bees.
to Australia.
I know. We've got so many new friends down there. So again, check them out on Instagram at SigmundFraudAU. And as I was saying while we were listening, I'm really glad that I booked this week's band and last week's band, Lemon Venom, before I knew that we were going to be doing pop punk for our album right now. So for those that have listened in the past, for those that are joining us, I'll just give you a refresher.
If you're listening from the future.
Well, I'm saying if you've joined us before and now you're joining us for the first time, or now you've joined us for the first time, whatever, all of those things. Basically what we do is every week we get together and in about 4 hours we write, record, mix, and master a brand new song. And recently we have gotten into the idea of doing concept albums. We did one called Rubbish, the Garbage Man Epic last summer. And all of them are 6-parters as we break up our episodes. We did a math rock that was called, what the fuck was the math rock called?
The epitome of
definition. That's what it was. And then now we are currently working on our album, Modes, the exploration of the exploitation of the modes of transportation of the American motorist, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the DMV.
Or Kyle tells us about everything he's ever done in a car.
That's basically what the whole concept of the album is.
It's about cars.
It's about cars and drinking. And being an idiot in a car. I, as we probably all know, I have a very, very near perfect driving record for the last 4 years because I haven't had a license. So for the last 4 years, I've been an impeccable driver in the way that I haven't. Like, I'm an impeccable alcoholic if I don't touch alcohol. I've been an impeccable driver. I haven't touched a wheel at all. That's a lie. I did drive once home from a hospital because it was an emergency. But other than that, I have not driven a vehicle in 4 years, and that was the most nerve-wracking, going down fucking Wigwam. I haven't driven a car in forever. It's raining going down Wigwam.
Fuck that
road, and people that swerve all over the place. Almost went into that brick wall. I was terrified.
That sharp S is fucking doozy.
And that wall that's been there for like 400 years and just has obviously destroyed every car that's ever come into contact with it. Like that wall has always won. Not a good place to drive for the first time, especially if you're, legally not allowed to.
Are
at
you
the time.
nervous about
being able to drive? I'm gonna be super fucking cautious. I'm gonna be a grandma behind the wheel for the rest of my life. Like, I always kind of was. I was always like driving like, speed limit. I was never really much above, unless I was on the highway for a long time. I never really was much.
You primarily drove minivans.
Minivans, but I got that minivan up to 98, I think, was the max I got the minivan up to, and that was on the straightaway on 380 right before you get back to 80 where you go downhill. You get that nice, I got it up there. It was not good. So the album Modes that we were working on lyrically is all about my history behind the wheel. We've already done a song that was about getting my first DUI. We did another song that was just about being drunk and not getting caught and just driving recklessly down I-80. The song is called I-80. And today we are, as Zach will go briefly into if he likes. We're doing the modes, which means we're starting in the same key for every single song. We're playing the same notes in every single song, but we are picking a different starting point. Correct?
Yeah.
That's the layman's terms. Now, what mode are we on for this week?
Oh, what is it? Lydian, I guess?
Lydian.
I think,
Yeah,
right?
Lydian.
Lydian?
Yep. So that is technically the third we are doing with the fourth position.
Yeah, it's in F. We're in the key of C major, and we're doing it in F.
We're doing it in F. So it's all about using the same notes, starting different spots, and giving it a different sound. And this one's supposed to give it more of kind of like a dream state, or like a little bit like, to me, it was like a nostalgia trip almost.
A little bit.
So I chose lyrically to make this song about one of the first things I ever did in a car. And the first time I ever did it in my life, actually did it in my life. I lost my virginity in a Trans Am. Now, lyrically, the car...
You're such a cliche.
Wait, was it Trans
You're such a
Am?
cliche.
Yeah, it wasn't my car. It was the
You're such a
girl's car.
cliche.
You didn't say that in the song.
I don't say it in the song. I took artistic liberty
What
with the
year
story.
Trans Am?
Like early 90s, just like, I don't know, just like...
305?
Sure, let's say 305. That's a number that probably isn't made up on your part. But the song is lyrically...
Well, it was a 3rd gen or a 4th gen Camaro?
I have no idea what you were talking. Was it a Camaro?
It's the same thing.
I have no idea.
It was real round?
No,
or real
it
square?
was squared. It was squared.
Okay, it was the 3rd gen.
And to go
It had
in
a
full
305.
disclosure with this, we obviously took part in our escapades in the front seat, but she was driving and I got on top in the driver's seat. So lyrically,
Well, that's the biggest in those style cars. That's the biggest seat. Those cars are made for
the driver.
one badass motherfucker with a mullet to drive it.
Yeah.
And
she
the passengers
did not have a mullet, but she did have a badass.
doesn't matter, dude.
Yeah.
That's the best place to be.
Well, either way, my ass is up against the steering wheel. It was really awkward and weird. I was actually on. This is the most white trash story of my life. I was
you were in a Trans Am.
I was in a Trans Am on break from Walmart, and I lost my virginity to a redhead.
That is, Kyle.
I literally don't know why I've been hiding that for so long.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how I lost my virginity. And the thing is, I thought I was moving to LA like a couple weeks later, and we were just kind of like, like friends that flirted and like made out here and there. And I was just like, all right, well, like I'm moving to LA. Do you want to like before you go to college and shit like that? That whole like teen movie idea, and it worked. At least 3 times it worked. And in my life, it worked at least 3 times. At least thrice. At least thrice. And then I didn't move to California for a year. And I just had to be like, I'm like working, saving up, blah, blah, blah. And I just totally, before ghosting was a word in my vocabulary, I totally just tried to ghost the chick as much as I could.
Where is she now?
And happily married with children and probably hates me and has a much different version of this story.
Hey, man, the first girl I had sex with is also happily married.
Yeah. I think most people I've had sex with have gone on to be. I'm like the good luck Chuck of the fucking. So lyrically, this is about that. There's a line where it says like, "You bruised your knee and my heightened anxiety" and all this stuff. And that's true. She had a bruise on her knee. Just from like where she had to like position her leg, and then I'm a big dude. I was smaller then, but I'm a big dude, and it just was awkward and weird. And I'll proudly say I was late to get back to work. And that's just because of the awkward
you
positioning,
didn't know what you
and I
were
didn't know
doing.
what I was doing. And
Now,
then you gotta
like
smack
like
it a couple
right
of
now?
times to get it back to life, ED at 17. That's what the song should have been called. ED at 17. All right. So, Justin, as far as drums go on this song, there we go. Good episode here. What was the focal point for you on the drums as I drink more Cabernet?
I was just told to play different style beats for the most part.
For the most part.
Change it up. Don't keep it.
That's
the
a
same
pop punk
stagnant.
thing. It's like
It's true though. It
everyone.
is.
Let's all play the same thing, except the drummer will change the beat completely.
Yeah, and that was something that you were definitely going with, like right off the bat. Like you wrote 2 similar sounding riffs. Like, I mean, they obviously with what our project is here, they're going to sound similar. But it literally, so many great pop punk songs are defined by the drummer. So many great pop punk bands. Like if Trey Cool isn't the drummer of Green Day, fuck Green Day's fucking like
True.
anything that they ever released in the early 90s. If they have their original drummer, who wasn't bad, but It's like Grohl, pre-Grohl Nirvana. It's a different thing. It really makes the group in that
Travis
way.
Barker. The only reason Blink-182 was
because he left the fucking Aquabats and joined them.
Yep.
Like that's up until then they were a tourable band playing on like the back of like a pickup truck outside fucking like the Warped
Tours. We wanted the drums to play a bunch of different stuff, and the guitars and vocals to really just. It's like the opposite. Like the drums are playing the fun stuff, and the guitar and vocals are playing the pocket.
Yep.
This is the only thing I have to say about that because I know nothing about music.
Wait,
You're just talking about.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know a lot about music and like what you guys are talking about aside from like I know what I like to listen to, right?
Right.
But you're talking about Travis Barker, and I think a shining example of where Blink is a really good example too. But his role in the Transplants.
Oh
is
yeah.
For sure.
The only reason I listen to that band is because of fucking Travis Barker. As much as I like Rancid and what's his nuts Armstrong, the Transplants work because of him, in my opinion.
Sure.
And in a lot of the same ways that
I'm the
he does at Blink.
opposite though. But the reason why I like Travis Barker is because
DJ AM.
Because of the Transplants still. But I came from the other side of it. I love Armstrong and Rancid and that shit. And then I was like, oh, well, yeah, this Travis Barker guy is actually pretty cool. And then I was like, all right, maybe Blink-182 isn't that bad.
Yeah. And again, he makes most of their songs like that are going to be more or less boring palatable. So Justin, you really kind of you get to, as you say, just play two different beats, but you really get to take the reins on this one.
Yeah.
Vocally, this one is probably. Last week was really poppy with the 90s and everything. I-80 was catchy. I feel like, as we always feel, we're getting better with every single song that we're writing in this way. But I do feel, once again, that we've kind of topped ourselves, and that this song, at least as far as the catchiness of the vocals, it was not a huge struggle at first, but I was trying to figure out how I could do what I wanted to do, and it just basically was like layer my vocals, like have two different sets of vocals. As I said last week, the sound that the bass player that doesn't really know how to sing is doing backup vocals on this song, and you're like, well, we want to do it the way that we're gonna be able to do it live, so fucking like. Bill, you just got to do the fucking vocals on the album. And he's like, all right, I'll sing like this underneath it. And then doing like the more aggressive, like, in your face.
Well, I think at one point I was like, just
vocals.
no effects it.
Yeah, just no effects it. Exactly. So
I feel like it wouldn't be a proper pop punk album if you don't have at least one song. Music stops and all the band is just singing in unison.
We haven't done that yet. We haven't done it.
You have to. I feel like you have to be a proper.
It's gotta be like a whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. It has to begin and end with
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Very Newfound Glory-ish.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. I just wrote it. There you go. There you go, Charlie. That's
Write
on
it down.
That's on the
Send it.
30 minutes after the album ends and your CD player is still counting down and you're like, why the fuck is it?
Then you're like, fuck yeah, that's the best song on the fucking album.
Oh, I would always be like,
just because
fuck,
it
I
does
fell
that.
asleep. What the fuck is going on in my bedroom? This is terrifying. Bigwig, I think Bigwig had an album that ended 30 minutes later. You get a voicemail that like it's like the lead singer or somebody's mom or somebody. It's just like this loud.
That was Invitation to Tragedy, I think.
Yeah, Invitation to Tragedy. It's like literally 12 to 30 minutes after the last track, and you're just like, why is this going on? And then I fell asleep, and then all of a sudden it's like, hello! And you're just like, what the fuck's going on here?
I remember driving around in a car with our friend Chuck and just leaving it on and we'd be sitting in silence for a long time.
Are we talking to Tuhig?
Tuhig, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. He was,
fucking.
Was he there at the? I don't know if I think he was at the Big Wig show. Yeah. He and I were dancing, and I'm pretty sure at the pit at the Big Wig show back in November. It was.
Big Wig still together.
Yeah, they played with. Oh, dude, it was a great show. We had Steve-O from. They used to be with Split 50 and the Holy Mess. He was on our show a couple months back with his wife, and they're part of Steve-O and the Crippling Addictions. And that was the first time I saw them get to perform live. Was opening for Bigwig, and then
is it still like Tom and all those guys?
It's
like,
Tom. It's Tom and and people.
Tom and guys.
It's Tom. It's like the Ataris, same thing. Like when they tour any band where it's like the lead singer wrote
all-time
everything,
low, etc.
Owns the rights to everything, is everything. Like he's the lead guitar player. He's the singer
Like eventually
songwriter.
it'll be Kyle Mugger One Shut Up podcast, but it'll be just me.
It'll just be you, and we'll just be like, all right, can we Do you want to call Kyle today? And you just be like, no, assistant, go away.
No, fuck Kyle.
Fuck Kyle.
I am Kyle. Mocha won't shut up.
I am he now.
I am the Mocha.
All right, so the Mocha. That's taking a lot of people out there. I like your ideas. So what did we wind up calling this song?
Been driving.
Been driving. So what time did we come out on this?
3:30.
Really? Oh fuck! I thought we were gonna be in the 4.5 with this. All right, so this is a good official pop punk style song. We'll see you guys in about 3.5 minutes. Here is "Been Driving," our Brunch Weekly original single. Drink 'em if you got 'em. Not a question of if, more a question of where. 17, no place to go. Roaming down each street, looking for the place to give it all away. Been driving towards this night, been driving towards this night with you and I just might. Been driving towards this night, been driving towards this night with you and I just might. Here's to those bucket seats and all our insecurities that led us to this lot. The bruising on your knee, my heightened anxiety, evidence of our team. Been driving towards this night, been driving towards this night with you and I just might. Been driving towards this night, been driving towards this night with you and I just might. In that moment we didn't care to see how soon the time would pass. In that moment we didn't look much further than those front seats. Since that moment we've never claimed to be. Been driving toward this night, been driving toward this night with you and I just might. Been driving toward this night, been driving toward this night with you and I just might. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next guest on Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up. Alrighty, everybody. You've waited, you've been patient. Here he finally is. I mean, he's been here the entire time.
Yeah.
But we are officially now joined by our guest for this 9th episode of the 4th season of Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up, Dr.
Oh, Christ.
Charles. What's your middle name? What's your middle name?
W.
Dr. Charles Wayne Eckenbarger.
How'd you get that right?
Because I know
Justin just tell
that's
you?
your dad's name, right?
It is, yeah.
It is. I know your dad's name. And also, it was either that or Wilford. And,
Man, I wish. Wilson would have been good.
Wilson would be good. Charles Wilford Brimley Eckenbarger.
Nice.
That would be a good one for you. That'd be a great one. So welcome to the house. But thank you so much for joining us. And making time out of your very busy schedule these days, right?
Super busy right now. Super busy.
I mean, we're all really swamped with life and being able to go outside and see people.
I'm not working from home until or anything.
You just cut out.
You cutting out a little bit there.
I'm not working at home.
Yeah, you just cut out again.
The irony cutting out at the same exact spot is
every
great.
time we try and give a date, it's like they're editing you, dude.
They're editing you. They don't want you to know.
October is when I go back to work.
Oh, Jesus.
October?
So let's
We're doing it from home though.
Let's
right?
explain
Yeah.
to people, Charlie, if you will, what exactly it is. I mean, you said not to call you doctor, but I'm going to call you doctor. You are technically a doctorate holder. You have that, so you get the title doctor.
All the paperwork, yep.
All the paperwork is there. But if someone's choking, call somebody else, that type of thing, right? Like if there's somebody needs CPR, I'm not your guy.
It's a fake doctor. It's not an
It's
MD.
a fake doctor. Yeah. You're almost like a dentist, but not
Yeah,
quite. Yeah.
I'm not even that smart, really. So technically, I'm a teaching doctor, right? I have a PhD in communication, rhetoric, and digital media, which effectively allows me to do nothing in the real world, but I can work in a university and teach classes on virtually anything in the humanities, from critical cultural studies to English and writing, digital media production. I focus mainly on Twitch and video games.
So you are teaching classes that are revolving around Twitch and video games themselves?
Sometimes, right? The university itself has needs, so I could end up teaching gen ed classes like public speaking or writing in the digital world or technical writing for media. But occasionally I get, at least once a year, just the way the university system works, once a year you can pitch a class that you want to teach. And when I am able to do that, it's considered a special topics class. And yes, it is about either Twitch and video games or video gaming itself in some form. The past couple that I've taught, when one was called Digital Cultures and Digital Media Production, which was specifically about creating content for YouTube and creating content for streaming, whether it's Mixer or Twitch.
Mixer,
Christ.
Twitcher.
Too much old E, apparently. Mixer or Twitch.
Now, real
Some of
quick,
the mixers are tweakers.
real quick. Most people that I know now, or not most, but a lot of musicians now, because of everything that's going on, people are getting into streaming. Have you seen an influx in all of that?
Yes.
Through the different platforms.
Mostly on Twitch because it is the largest platform. Twitch is the fourth largest site on the internet.
By Amazon, so
it is, it's owned by Amazon. Mixer, which is the least visited streaming platform, is owned by Microsoft.
Yes.
Then D Live is owned by It's a
I give him the D Live.
I'll give you the D Live. It's a BitTorrent. It's owned by BitTorrent. That's right.
Okay.
BitTorrent.
Now, you knowing a shitload more about this than the average person, which one do you... I mean, we're using Discord right now. Is Discord the best functioning platform to use for video chatting, for everything along those lines? Is it blowing other people out of the water?
It's a community-based...
So, interestingly about Discord, it is... Given the C-19 outbreak and pandemic that we're currently going through, it has opened its doors to academics, and we are encouraged to use it for our classes that are all being online now. There's other platforms to do it. I use it for my class. I think it is the best. I think it is the easiest to use. I think it's the highest quality. But yeah, Discord. So giant fucking community.
When you are teaching via Discord, are you doing a video chat to everybody and they're able to watch you and then you don't see anybody else type of thing, or do you have to like you're not...
No, you can have up to 50 users.
So you could teach your entire class, see your entire class, be able to scroll through and go, okay, you motherfucker, Jacob, wake up, like that type of thing.
I could. I've chosen not to.
Okay.
This semester, I do use it for communication, but we're not having lectures and stuff like that.
Okay.
Given the C-19 and coronavirus, I have taken the teaching philosophy of meeting the bare minimum requirements.
Okay. I like that.
Because this is because of pandemic, not because I'm lazy.
Oh, okay, I did it because I was lazy.
I know.
Yes.
So the kids, I have 2 classes this semester that I'm teaching. I've basically stripped the syllabus down to 1 page of what was 10, and they're basically doing 1 assignment a week that shows that they understand the material.
Damn.
And they submit it. This is a weird time for everybody, right? Like they got so much stress going on, and like some of them are stuck in these dorms, like on campus, and they're not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
And shit like that. So it's like I'm not going to add to it by making them fucking wake up at 8:30 in the morning to come look at my dumb face and talk.
And you also don't want to wake up at 8:30 in the morning and talk to their dumb faces.
Well, now I wake up at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Drink all.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Now, do you see in the future if they see? I think it's a conversation a lot of people are having that are able to work from home. Now, people are going, oh, I can work from home. You just don't want me to work from home.
Exactly.
Do you see any change happening in academia where they are going to switch, or do you think the in-person is still the most effective way for educating, and this is a good alternative when necessity arises?
Sure. So it depends on the class.
Okay.
What I teach, doing it this way, when I teach, my classes are designed to be in person.
When you teach a class on how to use Discord, using Discord is a great idea.
I could, but it wouldn't be a whole semester.
No.
So there's definitely classes that are meant for that kind of thing or can be tailored to that. But in person, if by doing something online, like you lose that connection with the student, you lose the ability to help foster the students' learning abilities.
Also,
because they're sending you shit, right? And I can't sit there and talk to them and figure out where their head's at. What are they thinking?
Yeah.
Because I get a paper, I read the fucking paper, and I send them back feedback, and then I never hear from them again.
Yeah.
I have you in a
not-
classroom
not-
for kind of,
not to get into your history too much, but you were homeschooled for your stuff.
9th through 12th grade.
9th through 12th. Yeah. So like you understand the difference just doing it. How like
Much different
homeschooling can
time
be
management.
fucking tough, man.
It is. I didn't do it
keep
because it was
yourself
tough. I did it because
motivated.
it was easy and I was lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, you were
I
lazy
want-
at some point. Haha.
Of course I was. I didn't go back to college until I was 24.
See, I think that's why I thought you were a lawyer or a doctor when I first met you. Which we could also at some point go over how we first met.
Fat Kyle.
Fat Kyle. Brilliant interaction. But I always thought, I was just like, oh, you're like around my age,
Yep,
and you're going to school, and you're like, you've been in school for forever. Like, you got to be a lawyer, or you got to be doing something like that. I had no idea that I mean, it was probably the 3rd or 4th time that Justin corrected me that you weren't a lawyer. And I was like, oh, he's not a lawyer. Justin, you see, he's a doctor of TVs or something.
Yeah, TV and video games.
Yeah.
But no, I hated school. Like,
Yeah.
I really fucking hated school. So I did online school to get out of going. And it worked. It worked really well. And I skated by. And I basically hung out with like Justin and Chuck and all those guys
Yeah.
from like 16 to like 22 before I went back to college.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Or 23, I guess. But yeah,
Pretty much.
That's great. So, speaking of, you kind of alluded to like some of the students are stuck in their dorms right now. Some of them like really don't have really many options, and as you said, you don't want to have to wake them at 8:30 in the morning. When they're dealing with all the stress, especially when you're just going to bed at that point, probably.
sometimes, yeah.
What was the immediate culture change, would you say, in the campus when it first was starting to go in effect, that they were starting to restrict, people going out and about and everything? Were people intelligent enough to kind of take it seriously, or were there still a lot of like the partiers throwing Corona parties and like COVID-19, all 19-year-olds get in free or something dumb like that? What was the immediate kind of response by the
North
student?
Carolina State University.
Yeah.
in Raleigh, North Carolina. It really interesting because right where we are, where I am, and the culture revolves around UNC Chapel Hill, Duke, and NCSU.
Okay.
Right. Those schools are all within 5 miles of each other. Right. Like, or 15 miles. I'm sorry. So, and those are relatively big schools. NC State, where I work, the big like shutdown and the lockdown and the stay-at-home orders and all that happened during spring break.
Okay.
So what happened was, I think it was like 3 days into spring break, we got an email and we're like, hey, we're extending spring break for a week to see what happens. Okay, so we got 2 weeks of spring break. Great, wonderful. During that time, the frats were having all kinds of stupid fucking parties and all that bullshit. And there was a lot of stuff on like the NCSU Reddit, which is super active, and people being like, this is bullshit, I'm still gonna and then a few days into the second week of spring break, they shut down campus completely.
Okay.
The only people allowed on campus effectively are maintenance people.
Because realistically, they still have to go in and make sure pipes are working, everything's working, nothing's exploding, or just being ignored.
Pretty much. Yeah,
right.
They're essential workers.
And I've heard the same for, ESU at least. I know a couple of guys that work on the maintenance crew over there, and people that clean like the dorms and stuff, that like just maintain like the cleanliness and make sure the thing's not crumbling, upon
it's
itself.
those people that are still there. There's still students in the dorms here at NC State. Because they have nowhere else to go, right? These are exchange students from China, Japan, Russia, Pakistan.
Yeah.
They literally cannot get home, right? They can't get home, so they have no place to go.
They're probably planning on going home in May, right?
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, I'd imagine.
Most likely.
Yeah.
So as of right now, they don't know when they're going to go home. When their country, specifically some places that have not prepared and not handled. I don't know. I think I read that Pakistan was one of the countries that was kind of like, we'll take our risks with this thing.
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of like, oh no, don't do that. Don't.
Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq are just like,
and where you cut out in the last
Iraq, right?
Iraq, okay.
Iraq, yeah.
Iraq, okay. So those students are just kind of
they're fucked.
Stuck.
They literally have nowhere to go.
It's going to become the terminal almost, where it's just
in some ways
isn't allowed to go in or out. He's just stuck in that terminal.
What the university has done, for what the university has done, they don't make it mandatory. They don't do any of that stuff, but they send us updates every day. And they are encouraging people to allow these students into their home as like an exchange student type thing. Because they are exchange students, but giving them a place to live, you know what I mean? Like kind of like high school. I'm not going to do that. I have a wife with a compromised immune system, right? We're not going to fuck around with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't fuck with that.
No. But some of them have gotten out. Some of them are doing okay, but some of them are stuck on fucking campus.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Now, how recently... to today, would you say that the last like big dumb party type of thing happened? After that second week, did it kind of calm down, and that's when they
No,
it kept going?
Well, I don't know about party on campus. I live out. I live just like in a suburb outside of it.
Okay.
But so I don't know what's happening down at the frats and stuff. I assume they've all went home because frats are on campus and you have to leave campus.
Okay.
However, daily down the road from my house is a park. Right, with a Pokemon gym, Pokemon Go gym, right? Packed every fucking day with people. Packed with people looking at their phones.
From each other?
No, they're not. They're not 6 feet apart from each other.
Charizard's here. I gotta be here.
It's ridiculous. It is. It's old people, young people, kids, and their parents just hanging out at the fucking park like there's no problem. And the rationale that I hear. Through like the community boards for the community I live in, is that hey, I don't have it, and my kids don't have it, and nobody's showing symptoms, so it's okay. Which is a clear misunderstanding of how it works. It takes 2 weeks, and you may be asymptomatic. It's like, you fucking idiots.
You can go through the whole entire thing and not have a problem more than maybe a cough here and there.
Which is, I mean, I have an unconfirmed, but yeah, that's all I had was a cough, right?
Yeah.
Like I coughed. And I had trouble breathing, and Justin heard me. We played games one night while I was still sick.
Yeah,
like it's tough.
Yeah,
but if you're fucking sitting there just hacking up a lung constantly, It's not bronchitis, most likely, right now.
Yeah.
It's not bronchitis
probably
season.
Not. Now, there are going to be, I mean, because, like, Zach deals with allergies really badly.
Well,
and-
allergy season.
That's what I thought it was, and I think I told you that.
Allergy
Yeah.
season just hit here for me.
Yeah.
Hard, and so I have been.
Yeah.
Coughing,
You probably feel.
but it's all just mucus in my lungs.
Yep.
And so, like,
See-
every time I cough, if I'm not in my own house, if I am at the grocery
You make
store,
sure to spit out a bunch of phlegm.
yeah, like, I'm like, oh, look at all this mucus, mother. I have allergies and I'm a smoker.
This ain't dried out.
I ain't dry
Yeah.
at all. I'm so
drank
fucking wet right now.
I drank 3/5 of gin last night and I'm still not dried out.
Yeah, I drank a lot of gin. And I smoked 1,000 cigarettes last night.
Mucusy as fuck. You're safe with me.
That's largely why I ignored it at first. It led up like I think I messaged you like the day I was supposed to be on here.
yeah, last week. Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
couple days beforehand, like I just thought I was having allergies because its pollen is ridiculous down here.
Yeah.
And I drink daily, almost daily. That sounds terrible.
I drink daily.
I mean, I guess I do
Right
drink
now,
daily.
what do we
And,
gotta do?
So I wake up in the morning,
Not
usually
drink?
hacking up a fucking lung, right?
Yeah.
So like I didn't think about any of it. And then you get the little bit of fever, and then you're like, it's hard to breathe, and then you're not hacking up things anymore. And now it's just this painful fucking dry cough,
Yeah.
and it's just like fuck.
Dude, I had
And,
a nervous, hypochondriac moment last week when I was just at home. I had smoked, however many cigarettes that night, and I had drank a decent amount, and I fell asleep. And as most larger people do, I probably have sleep apnea. As anybody that's been in a room
How
while
long
I've
is
slept,
distancing, by the way?
she's distancing
distancing
in her
chat.
actual chat. That's cute. Hell yeah, Helen.
It's funny.
But I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm really dry. I was like, oh god. So I was like chugging water, and I'm like, okay, all right. Let me just try to get hydrated, get back to just like square one, get normal and everything. And I went like all day, didn't like smoke anything, I didn't drink anything, and all of a sudden I was just like, oh no, I drank like 15 beers last night and then fell asleep drunk as hell because I was bored out of my mind and had like 3 or 4 shots of whiskey. I was just drunk, and this happens sometimes when I just wake up drunk. It's not saying that that's healthy in any way,
No,
but
it's better than C19.
Yeah, exactly. So I went like a day just like, oh, I'm not going to do anything. I think Zach even hit me up that day. He was like, yeah, people are coming over, maybe, we're social distancing, blah, 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 all this shit. And I was like,
People are coming over. We're social distancing as a group.
it's a group. And I was just like, yeah, I think. And for that day, I was like,
Not today. Not today, fam.
And the next day, I woke up and like I didn't really do much, that day. And I woke up and I went, oh yeah, no, I was just hungover and dumb drunk the night before. So really, it's weird because
the
not
night
being a
before was us
hypochondriac.
here trying to do the radio show.
Yeah. We were trying to do a
'Cause we
radio
got
show that
hammered.
night, and we got hammered. And exactly, so I drank way more than a couple shots.
Yeah, I don't know what was the deal with the internet, but we're gonna try it again.
Yeah, we're
so.
gonna try another radio show again at some point.
Yeah, that's
but-
exactly what it was like, man. It was just like, all right, well, okay. I went to the doctor, and there's like no test kits down here in North Carolina. Like they were fucked, so I didn't get tested.
Yeah.
But like the doc was like, "What are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna go there and fucking get the test, and they're gonna tell you have it. Just go fucking home and stay away from people." I was like, "All right,
Yeah.
doc." Like,
Yeah.
Because until
like-
it becomes like terrible for you,
unless you need a ventilator, there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do.
yeah,
There's
just
nothing
gets
they can do
waited
for
out.
you.
And I think
I got some Tylenol with codeine, which was nice.
Oh,
the
nice.
good stuff,
Yeah,
all the good stuff. Oh yeah.
I mean, I didn't abuse it at all. I promise.
no, not at all. You didn't
Definitely
drink
didn't
while you
do
had
any
that.
of it after everything was. No, of course not. Not drink with it. No,
No, that'd be bad for your liver.
terrible.
Your liver burn.
Terrible.
Yeah, because my
Your
liver
liver
is really.
burn, yes. All right. So what?
Standing
From what you have been told and from what you are allowed to say, from
Sure.
this point right now, what are you being told from the university? What are you being told from like local people down there? Because I mean, obviously, we're going to be getting different things in different areas. Does anybody have like a good projected timeline for you guys, or is it still up in the air?
So, It's important to note that NCSU is a state school, right? It's own. It's not private by any means, and everything we get comes down from state government. And we have to follow state government regulations. Right now, the rest of this semester and until September is all online classes.
Right.
There is no physical classes until September, from what I understand. The last correspondence that I've seen. That being said, it is also being touted to us that we have to be prepared for cycles of social distancing twice a year for the next 3 years.
Now, is this a local thing, or is this more going to be...
No, this is from the CDC that has been pushed down.
Okay.
This is freely available. I'm not breaking anything. Like, you can go on the CDC website and say this. This is, anyway, it was cited in the email we got, is that there will not be a vaccine until 2023 because it's going to take 2 years to develop and then a year for patent and distribution.
Okay.
Because, of course, in 2020 America, patenting a fucking vaccine that's going to save millions of lives. You got to get that money, bro. You got to get that money.
Sure, he's got his name or her name on there, right?
So by the time it's ready and by the time it's ready to be distributed, the school is preparing for moments of social distancing for the next 3 years.
Okay, so this is going to be every 4 to 5 months type of thing?
It's a winter virus.
Okay.
It dissipates in the summer, and by dissipates, it doesn't mean go away.
Over
it means
80 degrees, it seems to not really like it, right?
That's unconfirmed currently.
Okay, all right.
From what I understand. Again, this is all coming from whatever the school sends me. I don't do a lot of extra research because I just assume this is
But
correct.
they're getting all their shit from the CDC.
Local, because I live in the Triangle, right? This is where the vaccine is being developed.
Right.
Yeah.
So by companies around here. Moments of social distancing.
And the moments, are they going to be days long, weeks long?
Up to 3 to 4 weeks.
Up to 3 to 4 weeks. So they're looking at, and this is going to be what we are currently doing right now.
What you are currently experiencing with less deaths.
They're projecting potentially
every winter we're going to do this?
Every 6 months, or just during the winter?
So it becomes at its peak in December, from what I understand.
See, this is what I was saying the other day.
So basically, Christmas, New Year's.
Can they just give everybody Christmas and New Year's off for the next 3 years? And then it's just like, hey, fuck it. You get the best time of the year to be off. It's family time.
Yeah,
although you can't be with your family. And you're social distancing 6 feet away, opening presents from each other. Imagine the toasts on New Year's. They're just going to be like, hey.
Yeah, they expect it to begin around December. Height will be in March. We'll see the height. Well, now in America.
Yeah.
Because of when it got here, the height will be in about to 2 weeks, from what I understand.
Okay.
And then it will start to go down, which is why we're now social distancing until April 30th, right? Because that's when they're expecting the numbers to come back down.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can expect at least 1 or 2 months a year for the next 3 years to be social distancing, especially if we get a president that's not an idiot.
That they're having, or is that from what you?
That is what Dr. Fauci has said from the CDC. The guy has said that, and that is, it's confirmable. I get it every day. You can go on the CDC website and see his statement on it.
Yeah, I gotta say, out of all of this, I have learned to really appreciate the fact, and actually, the comedian John LaJoie, who was on The League back in the day, he always did those rap videos on Funny or Die, the Show Me Your Genitals guy. And
he was in The League.
In The League, yeah. He's Taco on The League. He released a video.
Eskimo Brothers.
And Eskimo Brothers, the database. But he released a video
EBDB,
2-3 days in that said that the whole song was about thank God for nerds. And it was thank God for nerds because none of us were gonna fucking figure this shit out. It's all thanks to them. But I really learned to appreciate somebody who is I'm assuming CDC, you're technically in some way still a civil servant in that way.
They are, yeah. They're the guys. Fauci is appointed. Right, Trump can drop him whenever he wants.
Yeah, so
surprisingly he hasn't.
But right now the guy's handling his shit, and this is what I'm enjoying seeing is that on some level, somewhere in our government, there is one guy at least who's all right, shut the fuck up. This is the shit. This is how I see it, and I've talked to all of the smart people, and you're not smart people. No offense. But
you're not.
You're not.
So
Stop reading fucking Facebook. Listen to me. I'm tiny and hilarious, and I'm really sad that SNL can't be happening right now because I would love to see who would be playing Fauci.
True.
He would host it right now. Let's be clear.
Could. I would think. I just want to see Dan
And
Harvey
he
come
probably
back
should. And he probably
Fauci.
fucking should host it and talk to people.
He could be a Nobel Prize winner at the end of all
I suspect
this.
he will be, actually.
Like, if he helps keep the peace, and he's a straight shooter. He's not giving us, I hope in 6 months, or I hope in 12 months, or anything like that.
No, he's
That
like,
you're
this is what I
getting from
projected to be.
literally every other level of like local, state, and federal government. A lot of people are trying their best to give you a straight answer, but a lot of people also don't want to put people in panic, and then that takes precedent over the truth.
Yeah, but you have to be informed is the thing, and keeping yourself informed is incredibly important. And what's interesting about Fauci, go on a little bit of a tangent, he did an interview a couple days ago with The Guardian, and he talked about how he has managed to stay in his position and what it's like having to deal with a presidential administration that doesn't want to deal with you and doesn't want you telling the people this.
Yeah.
And he talks about how it's a really fine line between not directly contradicting the president, but still providing the necessary information. And in not so many words, he basically said our president is too stupid to understand the way in which he's phrasing things, which is how he's managed to stay the head of the CDC.
Yeah. All right. So how long do you know, to kind of wrap on this, has he been through, is he just this president's CDC head?
No. He's been the guy since like
Bush?
1983 or something.
Okay, so he's just been the guy through everybody despite
But there's
whatever.
never been a pandemic since 1918 was the last time there's been a global pandemic, right? So you never needed this guy before.
And it's been actually a guy in our chat right now, Jeff, one-eyed Jeff. He brought up to this point to me a couple weeks ago. He goes, 1820 around there, 1920 around there, 2020 around there.
1918, Spanish flu.
Yeah. And
Was the last
100 years
global-
before that, there was another outbreak, but it was just the idea of like every 100 years, there's something big and crazy. So for you and your personal plans for the future, you're just hunkering down, doing, keep
But
calm
my
and
life
carry
has
on,
changed.
right?
My life has changed nil. I play games and I study the internet. I've been prepared for this for my
That
whole
has
life.
been another
pretty
meme
much.
that's been going around. It's like, wait, when you realize
I mean,
your whole
it's
life.
true. It's a meme, but it's
Gamers will
true.
inherit the earth.
Yeah, gamers will inherit
The only
the earth.
difference is now, that I'm not teaching on campus. I'm teaching online, which I've done.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, man, I'm really glad that you were able to come on and chit-chat with about all of this shit with us. Can't wait to the day that we can actually
before we
sit
wrap this
across the
up-
table and clink glasses with each other and not be too worried about it. It'll be a wonderful, beautiful day. And
I would gladly take Corona again from you, Kyle.
you know what, brother? I will gladly drink Fireball with you and your mom, and that's not a insult in any way. Your mom likes her
She's a
Fireball.
fucking very nice lady.
Very nice lady.
Before we wrap this all up, Charlie, can you just explain a little bit the different platform? Like, you don't have to go into depth, but they all pretty much do the same thing. You guys are watching us now on YouTube. Twitch is similar, Mixer is very similar, and there's other services. But a lot of them offer entertainment in different ways. I mean, I've caught myself... I mean, I'm a gamer. I've always been. So I enjoy watching people play video games. It's weird to some people. I get it. But I think it's more about somebody taking on a puzzle and watching
Get
somebody...
on that level, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But can you just explain the platform? But just use Twitch for I mean, it's the biggest platform.
I can
so-
break down the big four quickly. So the biggest platform in streaming is Twitch. Twitch started off as Justin TV.
I hung out with those guys once.
Oh, damn.
Way back in the day, dude. Sorry. Go ahead, John. I met them when
by
it
all
was
means,
Justin
interrupt.
TV, and all they did was play fucking World of Warcraft all
that's
Justin,
day.
what
yeah,
it
no.
was.
I hung out with them and I helped them make a music video to promote. This is one in California to promote, Justin TV.
Nice.
And then it was like 5 years later. It was like, I wonder whatever happened to those guys. They're like, yeah, those guys became Twitch. We're like, Shit, man, we should ask him
should
for
have got
more.
in.
We should ask him
got
for
in.
more fucking money.
Yeah.
We didn't
The
get
interesting,
we got
the
paid
interesting
shit
thing
for
about
that.
Twitch is, well, again, I won't get into the. I mean, we could do a whole fucking show on just talking the history of streaming and where it comes from. But Twitch is very much a variety platform. Many people say it is just for video games, and that is a stigma that it has. But in reality, it is a variety platform, and things like this, just chatting streams, podcasts, and just interactivity is where it comes from.
People play D&D with viewers. Like, there's all kinds of shit.
It's
People
not
do
just
art.
gaming. The biggest categories combined is often just chatting, which is the channel,
Is
the category
women with
where
big old-
nobody is playing games. Nobody. I'm actually co-streaming your podcast right now in just chatting.
Nice.
In just chatting. It's when we haven't talked about video games at all.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a video game platform.
Right.
Then you have Mixer. Well, let me go in order. Twitch is top. Second is surprisingly, and maybe not so surprising. I haven't seen recent numbers. 3 months ago, YouTube got the rights to air COD and the Overwatch League,
Yeah. Well, that was
which
a
is
big
going to
move.
skew the numbers. It's going to skew the numbers. But until then, and I have to see the recent stuff. YouTube was the second largest streaming. And again, everybody knows what YouTube is. It's literally, again, like Twitch. Anything is on, and you can put anything you
I
want
do
on.
love YouTube.
YouTube's good.
I'm a
And I love
YouTube
you, Zach.
fan. Thank
I love you a lot.
man.
Yeah, great. And then and then Mixer Facebook is another one that has Facebook gaming, which has been a really interesting move. It is purely a gaming
Yeah,
platform.
it's just a
for
gaming
streaming.
platform. We tried to multi-stream, and I was like, I don't want to select a game.
Awful.
It's pretty dumb.
It's really bad, and everybody on it is doing very poorly. But they got Facebook money, and they're not reliant on checks from subs. Like they have contracts to do this, right?
Sure.
It's not really good for people who just want to make music. It's, things like this that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Right.
What it does offer, and I will say Twitch is great for that. The past 2 weeks, the amount of artists that have come to Twitch and put on live shows is incredible. Insomniac Events put on their Wonderland event completely online.
Right.
Completely online. It was fucking insane. It was 2 days of EDM and house music. I was like, I had it on in the background just while I'm gaming.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, this is great. They like Grizz was there, Bass Nectar, fucking Big Gigantic. I was like, what? This is incredible. Anyway, and then finally Mixer. It is the smallest of the streaming platforms that is purely gaming. They do have channels for other things, but they tout themselves as the place for gamers.
Well, it's Microsoft. They're trying to.
It
implement
is owned by
Xbox.
Microsoft.
Listen, what's his face? The Mixer.
Ninja and Shroud
Ninja
are on.
is
Shroud, yeah.
Okay.
Interestingly about Ninja, he went from having over close to 70 to 100K viewers a day, and now he gets, if he's lucky, 10,000.
Yeah.
Damn.
So that shows you the power of a platform you're on, right?
Yeah, but Microsoft gave him that money.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he has a $30 million.
Now, would you say that
Microsoft.
it pretty much then boils down to, in a very, very simple way, it's kind of like the more the merrier. The more shit you have going on your platform, the more it is open to. Therefore, the more people are going to
Sure, but
jump
it also
on
makes
there.
it harder for new people.
5 years,
to get,
Primate.
Yeah. Like it
Sorry,
makes it
that was
harder-
my chat. Sorry, I was responding.
It makes it harder for new people to get discovered.
Okay.
So that's the
Especially with-
thing, right? It's discoverability on any of these platforms. Absolutely terrible. The key for influencers and content creators to get discovered is unfortunately luck. It's unfortunately luck. You have to put yourself out there on as many platforms as possible and then drive them to the platform that is going to monetize you the best.
Yeah.
So if you're streaming on Twitch, you have to have an Instagram account. You have to have a Twitter account. You have to have a TikTok account and be putting content on all of them, hoping that the hundreds, maybe thousands if you're lucky, maybe hundreds of thousands if you're fucking the stroke of luck, that see that content on the other platforms, that a percent, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1% of them actually come to Twitch where you make your dollars. Right?
Okay.
The content creation game, the bubble burst about 3 years ago. It is fucking hard to get noticed. It is
Yeah.
fucking hard.
Yeah.
And you have to, you
Believe me,
can't
we
really.
understand that.
Me too.
sentiment.
Me
Yes,
too.
Sir.
Yeah. You know, you can know all the ins and outs and you can do everything right. But you know, without that moment where the right person sees the thing and that maven of social media spreads it to other people, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
And that's why TikTok is super interesting. Their algorithm is based purely on hashtags. You create a video on TikTok, and you go to put in your hashtags. It shows you what people are looking at right now in that moment.
Damn.
So you hashtag, I don't know. So I just pick a fucking hashtag like podcast.
Yeah.
You could see, oh, there's 400 million people, which is not an exaggeration. There's close to 700 million people on TikTok.
Jesus.
I've never used TikTok, so
It's amazing. It's an amazing
today for the second time, and I still have not opened it. And
it's an amazing platform. I highly recommend. It is not just girls dancing the stupid videos.
Well,
I assure you that.
That's what I was going there for. Yeah.
Well, then no, you can get that. You can get that. You
can.
can. I mean, I may or may not have some of that in my
I remember the
feed.
original ads for it. It was just big-titted,
dancing ladies,
questionably aged
I mean,
girls.
there is that for sure, but there is whole sectors of it. Like, I go on there and look at gaming content. It's just clips of hot clips of people playing games, right?
Oh yeah.
But you, like you said, for example, you type in the hashtag podcast, it'll tell you how many people are looking at that hashtag right now.
So you can cater to the wants of
where
the world.
it is.
Yeah.
And then what's interesting about it is, depending on how many, it encourages you to put more hashtags in, because then it hones you down and hones you down and hones you down, and puts you into categories with other creators using those categories as well.
Right.
And then it has the main thing that you scroll through is called your For You page. That page is based on all those hashtags that you like to watch, that you've liked, that you followed. So, say for instance, if you guys put a funny clip from this podcast up on the TikTok and hashtagged it properly, other creators who have used those same hashtags
are getting that feed.
They're getting that feed. Their viewers are getting that feed, et cetera, et cetera. It's a crazy fucking algorithm.
That's
So
smart.
that we gotta get on TikTok.
That only the fucking Chinese can come up with.
Yeah. Fuck. Hey, they're coming up with a lot these days. So that's good.
I have a streamer that I work with. I do stream consulting for some people, and I have a streamer that I worked with. She put up in 3 days, put up 6 TikToks. This is somebody who usually gets, I don't know, 5 or 6 things on YouTube views. Sorry.
Yeah.
And on TikTok, the first six got over 100 views each, right? And she gained a bunch of likes.
Right.
All because she hashtag properly. All because you pay attention to where the hashtag goes, and you pay attention to that. It's fucking crazy. It's a crazy fucking thing.
We'll definitely...
but that's what I'm saying though. That's the key. Being out there and getting your stuff out there as often as possible is how you make it, because it ups your chances of luck.
Well, I'm hoping that we can hold you on retainer for $0 as our go-to
We have
liaison.
a doctor.
We have a
It's our houseboat doctor.
This is our Dr. Houseboat. Dr. Houseboat over here. Hello, Dr. Houseboat. You sound like a Bond villain. That's great. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us today and going into
It was a fucking
all
pleasure,
those
man.
depths.
It's so cool to fucking hang out with you guys.
Hell
I
yeah,
you guys,
man. We'll definitely have you back on again and again one day in the future in person.
Yeah, hit me up whenever. I'm glad to.
In the future.
I miss you guys.
In the future.
Definitely miss you guys.
Now, every week we like to wrap up our show by doing a little cross promotion between our show and our Brother Sister Love podcast. Let Me Ask You a Question, both brought to you by Moot.tv. You can check out Moot.tv for all of the podcast information. They got a store up there. We don't have anything on that store yet. We don't have anything on there yet, but
They have a store?
they have a store, which I've been meaning to get us shit on there.
iTunes stuff is going up on
they've got
iTunes.
they've
very
got
soon.
We have 3 T-shirts made with our
Yep.
logo.
Oh no, we
did.
made 5 of them actually.
Yes.
Will
Oh,
got one of
wow.
them, and Will got another one. 2 Wills got them.
Wait,
Will and Will Partial, the guy who designed it,
Yeah.
and then one of our friends was just like, "I want one," and we're like, "All right, we'll just add one to it." But they've got like a bunch of different stuff on Moot.tv that you can check out. We also drop our podcast simultaneously on Monday with our Moot Monday drops. And every week, Anthony or one of the other guys on the show will ask a bizarre question and get everybody that is involved on that episode to answer that bizarre question. And the question that we're going to ask tonight is a very unique, as they always are.
Right.
But I want to point out they don't say this on their show because they have what's it called? Couth. They have tact. The gentleman that was the guest on their show this week. There were two gentlemen. One of them's name I forget, but the other guy's name is Casey Jost. And I'm like, Casey Jost, that sounds, and I look into it, and it's the fucking brother of Colin Jost, the future brother-in-law of Scarlett Johansson, was on the fucking most recent episode. And these are guys that they met through working and playing music in the city. They both were writers, or are currently writers, I believe, for the what's that? The idiots that do stupid pranks on each other and make them challenge. Impractical Jokers, yeah.
I love that.
So you say the city, you mean New York, right?
Yeah, they're in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just clarifying for the people watching on Twitch, that's all.
Yes,
who don't know us as well.
So they're actually right now only Anthony, the one who asks the question, is based in New York. So every week I like to bring you that question in a segment that I call "Let Me Ask You a Question" from "Let Me Ask You a Question."
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Alrighty, guys. So as I said, every week Anthony brings a question to the room, and this week's question is very, very simple, but as always can get very in depth. The question is, how has pornography influenced your personal sex life as a young pervert watching porn, or today? Have you ever seen something in a porn that you've brought into your sex life? Did porn educate you, or did it have a negative effect on you? So how, if in any way, has pornography had an impact on your actual sex life? And
good question.
Justin,
yes,
I'd like to throw it to you first on that one. As the person who has had the most time to watch more porn than the rest of us, you officially have more porn hours logged. Even if I really do, you could, just by time.
I think Justin does.
I have definitely tried things I've seen in porn.
Yeah. Has anything ever made its way into your normal repertoire, your normal
not
movements?
necessarily.
No. Have you ever tried anything and it went terribly wrong?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, any specifics that you can think of, not naming people?
No.
Anything specific that you've tried? You ever try a butt finger? Ever do a butt finger that went wrong, or a butt lick that went wrong? They didn't enjoy that.
No. I don't know. I can't remember details, but I've definitely tried.
You've definitely tried.
Yeah.
You've tried. All right, Charlie, what about you? Anything that you've ever incorporated into your regular sex life?
I want to make it clear, and just in case she ever sees it, I've been married I've been in a committed relationship for 10 years.
Yes, you have.
Prior to that, though,
lady.
she is a wonderful lady, and none of these stories have anything to do with her. But perhaps. Oh, fuck me. But perhaps.
That's what you incorporated, fucking yourself? All right, continue.
But perhaps, maybe before I met my lovely wife, I had a fuck buddy who was perhaps blind, deaf, and toothless.
Whoa.
And had pink hair and a child.
Did you say deaf and toothless?
Yes.
Dude? Deaf and toothless.
Deaf and toothless. She had cochlear implants.
Oh my god.
Oh, so she had fake teeth, but she. Okay.
All right.
What? The cochlear implants are for your ears, bro.
Oh. I didn't
things that allow you to hear.
So she still had no teeth.
She had dentures, but she took them out when we were fucking.
So she had fake teeth and fake ears.
Right.
Getting a gummer is different than getting a blowjob from a girl.
I was going to say that. It's very different.
Gummer's not a Hummer, bro.
No, it isn't. It was amazing, though. I will say, that she was willing to do just about anything. Which led to my first rimming experience
Ooh.
of me being rimmed,
Oh.
and perhaps maybe I didn't wipe properly before we did so,
Oh, yes.
and her letting me know. So
No. Oh, God.
yeah, so if you want embarrassing, there it is.
It went downhill the wrong way for you then.
It wasn't great,
God.
but not surprisingly, a couple days later, she didn't do this anymore. So a couple weeks later, I met my wife, and everything is.
There you go. There you go.
Hey!
All right. Well, wonderful. I'm glad it all worked out for you, and not for that lady. Zach, what about you? Any
so
time
ashamed.
that you've ever
I'm
incorporated?
so ashamed I shared that story.
I'm not ashamed for you.
I can tell you. I mean, she lives in the Berg too. You guys.
Oh,
are
no!
No names.
Oh.
No names.
Right down by that the massage parlor in
Nice.
Marshall's Creek. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yes, sir.
Or she did anyway. I mean, this has been 12 years at this point. I guess.
Zach, anytime you've incorporated anything that you've witnessed in a pornography into your sexual life?
Yeah, every time.
Every time. So all of your...
We can fill a whole podcast. Like, I'm not gonna brag. I haven't had sex with a lot of girls, but
But he's had a lot of sex.
I've run the gamut on. Maybe I just got lucky with the few women that I have been involved with.
Yeah. Adventurous ladies.
You know, I took a trip to Jamaica.
Yeah.
And she's gonna listen to this show.
She is.
She told me she always listens to the show. Just like there was no holds barred.
Yeah.
Whatever. If you got an idea, that's fucking good. For a while I lived with it, just and everything
all of your repertoire is porn. That is what Jeff actually said in the chat before.
Yeah,
porn
really.
is the repertoire.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I saw it on a porno, I fucking tried it.
For sure.
Other than the whole. The modern trend in porn, the whole stepsister thing. I didn't have.
You didn't try that.
I don't have.
You
a
didn't try
stepsister.
that. Yeah.
And I'm not. I didn't have a stepmom or a stepsister, so that never.
What a weird fucking trend, by the way.
Yeah, it's a super trend. We talked about this.
We've talked about it. It's basically what it comes down to, because there was actually like a study that was done into what is happening. People are trying to blame Game of Thrones for it because its popularity because Game of Thrones has incest within the first
I get
40 minutes
but
of the series.
That's the dumbest thing.
And so that's the dumbest thing. What it basically came down to is what the study that I was I forget who showed it to me, but I was just like,
it was me.
Was it you?
Yeah.
The whole idea is that there isn't so much of a nuclear family anymore. Mm-hmm. So people, when you're coming of age and you're first getting a hard-on or a wetness or whatever the fuck is going on in your pants, you are now surrounded not by your regular family, and you feel awkward. You're now surrounded by this hot 14-year-old chick, or this hot 20-year-old dude, or this fucking stepdad, or this stepmom that you have no real connection to. So porn basically saw this trend happening in the world, and porn's always ahead of everything. That's why we
It's the industry leader.
That is why we went DVD. That is why we went streaming. Everything is porn.
That's why VR is working right now. Why VR is not gone.
Exactly. Oddly, let me ask you a question. Gets into VR porn on the episode that we're kind of discussing. Yeah. So go check them out.
I'm gonna say that's the only thing that porn has that I've never tried.
VR porn. I've never.
Not VR porn. I mean, fucking your family.
That's I will
the
include
one thing
that on mine.
That's the one thing.
Thank God for that, Zach.
I've seen that on porn. But I've never done that because that's just not.
It's wrong.
Yeah,
well, I don't have step family.
Yeah, no, it's wrong. I don't have step family either. But
so it's
still,
and Twitch viewership just dropped dramatically.
Are you sure it didn't triple?
I'm worried about my TOS.
It might have tripled.
Remember that scene from Donnie Darko where he's like, I don't.
The movie sucks, by the way.
Family.
I don't fuck my family.
I hate that movie.
I don't
Anyway.
fuck my family. Now,
Yeah,
for
no,
me,
no,
I will
not
say
me.
that there was one specific time in my most recent relationship where I must have been watching porn right when we first started like getting, you know, all like freaky with it in the relationship. I must have been watching porn that had a lot of choking in it or something, because for the first like 3 months of my last relationship, we were having sex, and at a certain point I'd be like, oh god, she likes being choked, and I would start choking, and she would give me like a yeah, that's good face, and I'd be like, all right, so I'd go like squeeze, and you know, we'd be like going at it, and then about 3 months later, we're just having a casual conversation about like weird things that our past partners have done in bed, and she said, I forget what her detail was, and she was like, it was weird, but I mean, and I was like, what? She's like, I mean, it's not as weird as like, I don't know, like, you just like choking and you didn't really propose it, you just started doing it, and I was like, wait, no, I feel terrible every single time I'm doing this. You don't like being choked? And she's like, no, what? Oh my god, what? Why do I think, like, in my head, halfway through, like, when I'm like, okay, we're halfway through, there's 30 seconds left of this show, I need to start choking you right now for at least 15 seconds. I focus on that, and that actually kind of keeps me in the game, so maybe in the weird sense I am starting to like it, but I'm just like, I get nervous and my anxiety peaks. I'm like, all right, I gotta choke you now. And it's kind of like I slept with one chick that really liked the being smacked, like on the ass thing, and I was kind of like, all right, oh, it's been 30 seconds. I should probably smack her again. Like, she really likes that. But this was one thing that I think subconsciously just seeped into my sex life without me even thinking about it. And I must have just clicked on something that wasn't fuck your dad porn. And I was like, here we go. The 18th option is finally nobody related to each other. Let me go with that. Oh, he's like cock gagging her and fucking like choking her. And then that little bit just slipped in. I had a dream or something that she said that that's what she liked. And the next time we went at it, we fucking had some awkward time. And again, for like 3 months... 3 months of me not realizing that she had no interest in this, and then because of just a dumb run-of-the-mill conversation, it was like, oh, okay, I guess we won't do that anymore. I won't do that. And it was really difficult the next time that we were having sex to not choke her, and then I think it seeped into my subconscious even more, and I was like, God damn it, now I kind of want to choke you. Like, I kind of feel like I should choke you right now.
I mean, I'm right there with you, buddy.
Yeah, and
I remember those times where one chick's into something and you're like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do it because they're into it, and then
I hooked up with a Spanish chick years ago, and she started saying "papi" and "daddy" and stuff, and I was like, I never thought that I'd like that.
that's what I'm saying, bro.
You're saying
you like being punched in the fucking tits?
Yeah.
Okay, every chick must like being punched in the fucking tits.
Whatever, tit punching's your thing. Now the next girl's got to know I might have a flashback in the middle of it, and go
Sexual
call me
PTSD.
daddy and hit her on her nipple real hard, and then she's.
What is it? PTSD?
BSDM, BDSM.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can
Sexual.
ask Jeff about all that. He's our go-to expert. He's our man in the field on. He said porn is repertoire. He is experienced.
Yeah.
Also, he's a slight bit
dude.
older than us. Just a slight bit. So just again, the way that Justin has more porn experience, Jeff has more sex experience, just because of age.
Yeah.
Because you're old. Justin.
Yes, I am old.
Jeffrey is experienced.
I thank you.
And Jeff is saying, great story, bruh. Great story, bruh. All right. Well, again, big thank you to Charlie for being here so we can chit-chat.
Can I pin my shit real quick?
Where can people find you, dude?
Everything is /almost Adorno. TikTok, Byte, YouTube, Twitch specifically.
Yeah.
I'm streaming a lot of Call of Duty right now.
Spell that out for people.
Almost Adorno, correct?
I mean, almost as it is. Adorno, ADORNO. Almost Adorno.
One word.
All one word. Yep. On everything. If you haven't seen Byte, it's the new Vine. I highly suggest you check it out.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch.
And Sabbatical.
OnlyFans.
And Pornhub?
OnlyFans. OnlyFans is where I make money.
Oh, okay. All right, so
Yeah, of
go
course.
check out Charlie on Chat Roulette over there.
Chatterbait, dude. That's the new one.
I mean, Chatterbait I do for free.
There we go. Chatterbait.
And I use a different handle.
Okay.
Dr. Giant
Dr.
Cock.
Charles Dwayne Eckenbarger.
Can you imagine?
That's the only
NC
one.
State. It says
NC State, Dr. Charles
Dwayne
Eckenbarger.
NC State professor. So if you're looking for him on Chatterbait, go check that
There it
out.
is.
Oh my God!
There you
All
go,
right,
Reddit. Enjoy.
Big thank you there, brother, for being here and letting us.
Thank you so much. This has been a fucking blast, boys.
Hell yeah, man!
It's so good being able to hang out with you guys
stay
again.
safe, stay
yeah,
healthy, and fuck yeah, man! Can't wait to actually be able to chill in person.
Soon.
Also,
Soon.
big shout
Ish.
out again to our featured artist from tonight, Sigmund
yeah.
Fraud.
Check him
Bastard in the Beers. The video is available on YouTube. You can find him on Instagram at Sigmund Fraud AU. Also, again, big shout out to Let Me Ask You a Question, Eric, Gregaman, and Anthony of the Angels over there running everything, keeping that shit fucking fresh for you weekly through all of this turmoil that we're all enduring. Big thank you, as always, to Mr. Justin Olimpedo for getting everything put together here today. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so excited for this one, Mr. Zachary.
Choke me, Pappy.
Norman, I was putting money in my head that it was going to be Zachary, I don't fuck my family, Norman, but choke me, Pappy.
Yeah.
In relation to that, go check out our past single, Papa Left. All right. I'm Kyle Boca for Kyle Boca Won't Shut Up. Here from the houseboat, Tommy Lee Jones. We'll see you guys next week, where I don't know what our episode is going to be. I have no idea. I know I think we're going to have the guy from the Netherlands. Sweden is going to be somewhere around there. Is going to be our featured artist, but I got to double check on that. So tune back next week, and we will be releasing videos throughout this week of parts of this episode. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in live. Great turnout tonight. Thank you for everybody tuning in the future on iTunes or Apple Podcasts.
Be safe out there, everybody.
And Stitcher for podcast app. All right, guys. Yeah, stay safe. Stay at home. Stay.
One more
away
interruption,
from
real
each
quick.
other. Yes, sir.
I'm going to be re-streaming this tomorrow afternoon on
Fuck
Twitch.
yeah.
I will get you the video.
.tv/almostadorno. Hopefully, I want to start it at 3.
Hell
I
yeah.
want to start at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Fuck
It'll
yeah,
be
brother.
pretty
We
cool.
appreciate it. Thank you so much. And again, we'll have you on again soon. Thank you, everybody.
Also, real quick, anybody that's listening that does stream, you can use our YouTube music. You can use our music
use our
for whatever
shit. If you
want.
get famous, we're just gonna sue you for
Yeah,
it.
it's huge.
Money. That's all
we
it
peaked
is.
at about 50 or 60 today on Twitch.
Hell yeah.
And most of them probably streamers, because that's my community. Knowing that they have access to your music and how to get it would be great if you can
Fuck
kind
yeah,
of.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
we'll
gotta
get
step
you
up
all
our
that
game,
stuff.
get the
Should
shit
be
on
on
iTunes.
iTunes
Yeah.
and
So I mean,
music,
even if you
all
just
that
mention
stuff.
now where.
Well,
so
right
they
now
can
you
have
can go on
contact you.
you can go on YouTube itself, look up Houseboat Tommy Lee Jones. You can find all of our original singles that we have released so far from past episodes. We have a
There's
couple
a
more
playlist.
from
I think it's 48
season
songs
2.
right now.
45 songs.
45
We got
songs.
a couple more that we got to still
But if you're a
upload.
streamer, we'll just write a song.
We also will just write a
that's-
song for
Like,
it.
we
yeah.
have.
That's the thing, chat. These are the guys that wrote Ego Vikings, King of the Mountain. These are the guys that did it. So
We can get you
get to that
music of any genre, any feel, whatever you want.
We'll write any
We
fucking
are
song
musical
you want.
whores.
You tell us, we'll write
They're
you a
they're
song.
do
very
what you
good if you
want.
ask them. If you know what they want, or if you know what you want, and you tell it to them, they will get it done. They're very
And
talented
if you don't
musicians.
like what we first come up with, we'll fucking keep going until we find something
until
for
we
you.
get something.
King of the
that you
Mountain
like.
went through 4 iterations. We went through,
Yeah,
Justin.
for sure.
Hearing it between like just the guitar riffs to hearing the drums to hearing the MIDI.
Yeah, we're
et cetera,
pretty
et cetera.
good with all that. We'll give you updates, and
Yeah.
we're just excited to share it with whoever. Like,
We
that's
just
why
want
we
to
do
make
it.
I
Yeah.
just want to make music.
Music's
so-
fun, and right now, music is the thing that will save us all. Music and art in that way. So, again, thank you, everybody.
Support the
Again,
arts
check out
right now.
Almost
These are the people keeping
Adorno
up.
And
Yep.
Moot.tv. We'll be back next week with another special episode with some people and some music. For now, here's our closing theme song to play us out.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Things broken.
Later.
Fuck you.
Play it out. Bye, everybody
Moot.tv.
out there in YouTube land.
There's nothing more egomaniacal than singing the theme music for your own I could only drink like him. We're gonna write a new one every week. Some will be solid, some will be weak. We're gonna write a new one every week. Some will be solid, some will be total experimental pieces of shit. We're not over yet. Now we are.